Close the deal, I am the destroyer. I am the chosen lawyer. Training hard to knock them to the floor. I am the chosen lawyer.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Chosen Life podcast. And we are joined by our guest, Mr. Sheref Sabawy. Welcome once again.
Welcome.
Thank you for having us once again at your beautiful office. It's an array of so many certificates and degrees in here. We really like it here.
Yes.
Jonathan?
Absolutely. And we got to find out last week about your life story and
Yes.
portions of it. And two questions were coming to my mind right as we were finishing up last week's interview. So I got to ask you first and foremost to understand how one makes a trek from Alexandria, Egypt to Toronto, Ontario to Canada. And then how did you find your way to Mississauga?
That's a very interesting question. And maybe I would say destiny. So let me explain. When we planned, me and Mary, to come to Canada and we applied, and I hope I have some few minutes to maybe tell the story of
Take your time.
Mary, because if you think that my route was difficult, I think if you hear the rest of the story, it will understand how difficult it is, how it was difficult. So when I applied, I got accepted in 11 days. They sent me the letter dated 11 days after my application,
And this was in the year
1994.
94. So IRCC, watch it now.
Yeah. Then we continued everything till the day they assigned for us to go and receive our landed papers. And we went to Cairo, Cairo Embassy, Canadian Embassy, and we met the officer. The officer had two sets of papers like this. And he said, you sign this, you get this. You don't sign this, you don't get this. Okay, this is my landed papers. Okay, what's this? That was the first time in my life I see a legal affidavit, like it's saying affidavit. This affidavit was saying, I acknowledge I will not be a doctor in Canada.
That you will not be a doctor.
So Mary had to sign, she's a family doctor.
Okay.
So she had to sign a form, affidavit, saying, I acknowledge I will not be a doctor in Canada. And we had 10 minutes to think it out. Again, you might think about it from any different point of view, but at the time it was like a shock in a way for a few seconds, and then absorbing the shock and trying to think what could be the motive for that? How can you go over it? Is it true? How are we gonna get through that obstacle? Like few seconds, and then, she was crying, and I was like thinking, like, okay. So anyway, the thing is, I said, I promise you, you will be a doctor in Canada. And if you couldn't achieve that, we'll come home. So she signed based on my promise. And that was like part of the motivation afterward for the rest of the journey.
Right.
We didn't know anybody in Canada at all, except one person. This person was Father Angelus from St. Mary Church on Eglinton.
Right.
He was my father, my church in Alexandria father.
Wow.
Oh, my.
So when we decided we were going to Canada, we faxed to the church here saying we are arriving this date, this time, this flight. And that's it. Like fax say, okay. Like there's nothing. It's
No
received.
response, yeah.
It's received, but there's no reply.
Right.
So until we landed, finished all the procedures, and we are in the waiting area of the terminal with our luggage, we didn't know where to go after that. Like there was no plan. Like all the plan is to arrive to Canada, but there's no plan what's after having to. Very similar to the Americans in Iraq kind of thing, the American army in Iraq. Like we got Iraq, what's after? There's no plan. Same thing. We were there, here, and there's no plan. So we were just like thinking, what if the fax was received, and then somebody showed up with a paper saying, it's about it, saying, looking for Sheref.
Oh.
Like that's an hour and a half after we landed, or 2 hours. We were almost like start thinking, okay, what the plan B is. And then somebody showed in Harry and said, like, Father Angelus sent me. We jumped into a van and we ended in St. Mary Church here in Eglinton. So we landed in Mississauga almost like 2 hours after our landing in Canada. And since then, we didn't leave.
Stay here in Mississauga.
We stayed in Mississauga since then, from 1995 till date.
No, I can testament to the fact that you're very close to the church. I've seen you many times with their
Yeah,
engagements
that's what
here.
the end of the houses. I mean, that was the end of the business.
journey there, right?
You know,
Yeah.
the like from the church to Erin Mills Mall, there was no houses in this
Yeah.
area. Like it was, you can see the mall from the church.
Right.
So it was built after that. But anyway, the thing is, I had to work hard into Mary's file. So she did her exams and took her some time to do the exams, which again, like you run into unforeseen obstacles.
Mm-hmm.
Like we are in the church and the people say, "Oh, new guys arrived. What do you do?" I'm the IT guy. "Oh my God, you're gonna find no problem. You'll get a job in 2-3 days." And asking me, "So what do you do?" She says, "I'm a doctor." "Oh my God, I'm a doctor too. 7 years I'm doing the first exam." That's the first impression. You have been doing the first exam for 7 years. So that's not something you consider like encouraging. But anyway, Mary was like new grad, fresh. She was like honor graduate. Like she got good marks. She ranked on her class. So she did all the exams first try. Done. We got the LMCC license, and we were like, that day was like one of our happiest days in life. Like finally we got the license. Then we went to the college and saying, "Okay, how can we get license?" Said, "Oh, you can't apply. Like you are not permitted to apply." "Why?" "Oh, we don't have the 2 years of Canadian experience. That's there. Like you have to have 2 years of Canadian experience." So I said, "No problem. How can we get the 2 years?" We don't know that. When you get it, come back." That was the answer. Like, we don't know. Get it and come back. So we stayed like for 8 months, basically nowhere. Like, we don't know where to go from here. Like exams are done. LMCC license is done.
Right.
Now, these 2 years, we can't create them. Like, you can't touch anybody unless you have a license. And you can't get a license until you have 2 years. So, like, it's the egg or chicken. Like, actually, you can search. Because when I became an MPP, and we worked at our Working for Workers 1, and we were doing a press release, and I said it was the egg or chicken situation.
Yeah.
Search it and find it in Toronto Star MPP saying it's egg or chicken
Egg or
situation.
chicken situation, yeah.
So we ended up for about 7-8 months. We don't know where to go. And then all of a sudden, a doctor opened a new clinic in Mississauga coming from Newfoundland.
Newfoundland. Okay.
Yes. So I went there and I said, "I'm not going to ask you, how did you come to Mississauga? I'll ask you, how did you go to Newfoundland?" So it's very simple. There's a program you can apply and get a restricted license, under supervision license. If there's another doctor agree to sign your prescriptions. So you will get a license. You will be able to practice under his supervision, have to be in the same clinic, and he review all the prescriptions for a period of time. So I did that. I called Newfoundland College, and they said, "Yeah, we needed some, but now we are saturated. We are good." So I went in the map, looked for the next English-speaking province, and it was Manitoba. So I called the Manitoba College, and they said, "Yes, we have that program. Just get a doctor." Okay. So I went to the site, downloaded the directory, 342 clinics in the whole Manitoba.
Wow.
And every day during lunch, I called 5, 6, depending on the time. 5, 6 clinics every day until I found a clinic said, "Yes, we are looking for a doctor, but we don't hire by phone." I said, "No problem. 10 o'clock in the morning, we'll be there. Ticket, fly, interview, done."
You don't take no for an answer. You're going to make it happen.
Sherif is a doer. It looks like
Yes.
that.
So she got a position with a family practice in Manitoba. And I come home. I have the 2 kids here. So I had my full-time and 2 kids. And I was started getting active in multiple other things in the community, in the Egyptian Coptic community, in the church. Basically, they served me, and I'm trying to be a volunteer. then 2 years, we went to apply again. They said, no, doesn't count. Why? Because that's a restricted license. Need to be 2 years license. So we went back to Manitoba, applied for a full license. She got her full license, and we start counting again for another 2 years.
Another clock ticking.
So after 2 years, we applied for the second time, and they said, okay, now you have the requirements, but just to let you know, it's not a priority for us to take any GPs. She have to be a family doctor. She have to be a specialist. I said, like, what specialist? She's like, just see family. I said, no, family is a specialization.
Okay.
So we discovered that there's another exam to be a family doctor. And so it took 2 years to write the family doctor exam while she's working, studying. She got her family doctor, and we applied again for the third time as a family doctor. It took her 8 months. So 6 years and 8 months.
And I'm hearing this, and I think to myself how ludicrous it is, because we're always hearing in Canada we have a shortage. We need more doctors. We need more educated, more trained professionals. And here we have people coming from other countries with those qualifications, and we're saying, yeah, we're going to make it difficult on you. It doesn't seem to add up.
Yeah, I know. But at the time, it was very, very challenging, very difficult, very stressful. So at the time I got involved trying to figure out some way to maybe get her back faster, or even when she got full license in Manitoba, I was trying to say, this is the same. There's a full license in there. Those Canadians are similar to those Canadians. She's practicing in Manitoba. Let's make it difficult to practice in Ontario. The same thing. We're not in a different country. No. So that's different route. So that's what inspired me when we got into power as a government in 2018. We worked very, very closely with Monty McNaughton at the time to do the Working for Workers one, which removed the 2 years of Canadian experience from any credential system in Ontario. Again, we didn't manage to get through with the medical because you have a different bill, but we got successful with 37 different other verticals, including professional engineers, for example, electricians, mechanics, like many, 37
trades workers.
But when I was talking in that matter in the parliament, I was saying, like, this is not going to help me because I'm already done with that. My kids are already grown in the system. They are Canadians. They have to graduate from here. So it's not going to help me personally, but it's going to help millions of new immigrants who will come to this country after. I don't want them to face the same challenge because I don't know if they have the same courage to go through what I went through.
Yep.
And when we passed it, I was talking about it, and I was talking in the parliament saying, this is a 23 years old promise, and today it's a promise made, promise kept.
And that was with Mary.
Changed it for the whole thing.
Yeah.
If not for Mary's experience, would you have gone into politics still? So it's simply seeing the system.
There's two things. I was active federally because I know that you're going to ask me about that.
Yes.
I was active federally because I'm Coptic. At the time, there was a huge persecution and discrimination for Coptics. Lots of people were getting killed. Lots of churches were getting burned. Lots of abducted girls from here and there. So we were very vocal here in Canada about what's going on for the Coptic community. It was like an uprising of some fundamentalists, which led at some point of time, which I knew it's going to happen at some point, that the Muslim Brotherhood took over the country. And that's like very dangerous for the Coptics in Egypt. So that was the first activity I did. That's what built me into reaching for the Coptic cause, talking about the case. And Coptic wasn't very known. Like when I say Coptic, people think I'm another like sect that like Shia, it's like the Ismailis. The Coptics weren't known as Egyptian Christians. Or Christians of Egypt. Coptics are Christians of Egypt. So that was the first part. But I discovered, I think somebody begged me, some politician begged me and said, like, you could be a good politician. And he mentored me. He's my mentor, and I still respect that very much. And I always say his name is not secret. It's Jim Kyrgianis. So he begged me. He saw me speaking in one of the events. Said, like, you can be a good politician. And he begged me up. I mainly gone with him for a reason, because I was pushing my cause. Like, he was helping me when I needed a statement, when I needed him to speak, when I needed him to send a letter or do an announcement or statement release, press release. He was helping with that. So in return, I was helping to do outreach. So I learned many other things. I read outreach to many communities, and I discovered it's not only Coptics. Like, there's lots of discrimination and across
the
the
board.
world for any reason and every reason. So it's not only religion. It could be ethnic. It could be color. It could be many things. So I started getting like a broader experience with causes like discrimination and hate and anti-Semitic and Islamophobic and every other things.
We'll get to that, Mr. Sabawy, but the story that you shared, your own, it's like your own breakfast dinner table story, right?
Yes.
The promise was fulfilled 23 years down.
Yes.
The never say die attitude and the Canadian spirit that you brought forward to help those who will be in queue later on.
Yes.
You took the same spirit moving into politics.
Yes.
So just as we have this story that we have been shared by you from Alexandria to Toronto Terminal to Mississauga,
Yes.
take us through your political embarkment.
Yeah, that's what I told you. Like, I got involved through this Coptic cause, and when Mary things are becoming really difficult. Like, when Mary left, David, my son, who's now a family doctor, was grade 4. When she was back, he was grade 11. Like, imagine
7 years, yeah.
like my 2 kids lived for 7 years without their mom. She come from time to time for a weekend or whatever, but she have lots of work. So that's difficult on the whole family, on me, on my kids, and so on. So my point is, I started getting a little bit vocal about that provincially. So that's what did the bridging is provincially. I even talked at the time, the health minister was Eric Hoskin, I believe, the minister, which I met few times, talking about the very difficult conditions of the IMGs. Being in like close to the circles, I can have the luxuries to meet him in one of the events or one of the conferences and talk about the IMGs and how difficult it is. So,
And having multiple political parties available to one, whether you're going to be voting or as far as joining a party, how did your gut, how did your heart know where to align yourself politically, with which party?
okay. So let me be very frank about something. I wasn't born here. I wasn't raised here. I came here 27 years. So I can't say I've been raised as a liberal or I've been raised as a conservative.
Right.
I've been raised to understand the issues,
Right.
and work for the issues, work for the cause. At the time, the liberals were very vocal about immigrants generally, about the issues of immigrants federally. I'm talking federally, involved with the community, and I was helping the community in a way. Like, it built up through the connections, through situations. Like, we are doing a standoff for this. We are doing a visual for this. We are talking about this guy. And slowly it become, this BR is not coming. This refugee is not receiving. This immigration is not coming. This visitor visa is not coming. So slowly you get involved to help with the community and slowly get yourself in. You find yourself inside. Like, you didn't even seek it, but like you found yourself the go-to.
There and thereabouts.
Yeah. So something lead to the other. I'm not saying it's bland. Like, I wouldn't ever said like I even thought or dreamed that I will be elected member anytime. I didn't meet any elected member in Egypt before I leave the country. Till I left the country, I never met my MP or MPP or whatever. Like, I wasn't in politics or not even close to it.
So that was nothing. There's nothing to do about politics as a child. Sheref as a child, nothing to do, nowhere close to politics.
Yeah, I have to understand something. Being raised as a Coptic, I mean, being in politics in many countries in the Middle East is a very spooky situation.
Yes, difficult one, yeah.
It's a dangerous situation in a way. Being Coptic in politics, this is double trouble. Like, he will be the goat kind of thing, you know? So when we got raised, like, my parents wouldn't be getting angry if they discover that I'm smoking, for example, but they will get really angry if they hear that I'm doing anything related to politics. And that's apply for all Coptics. That's why for a long period of time, you know what we learned here as marginalized communities, consider that the case until they like wake up one day and figured out that the country is gone. Then now they are very, very active. They are speaking. But during that period of time between the time I left Egypt and the time of the Arab Spring and Muslim Brotherhood and stuff, there's a period of time where only activists who are talking. And I was traveling. I was going to Amsterdam to meet with the international Coptic movement in Amsterdam, conferences, speaking up to the media. Especially when I got a little bit more involved with outreach, I become more vocal, more trained to speak, to say the right things. So I felt that I have a duty. So I was speaking all the time. I was like upfront, speaking about anything that happens in Egypt for the Coptic people. When May stuff came, it automatically become personal and public.
Yeah.
So you felt that need, and you felt political office was calling you. Was it ultimately the Conservative Party found you, or you found them?
Well, I was actually I was liberal with Justin Trudeau team.
I heard rumors of that.
I actually ran nomination against Ikra at some point.
Yes,
For the federal.
For the federal, the same nomination she won to be an MP.
Right.
I ran against her and I came second.
Ah.
okay.
So at the time I said, okay, like I'm gonna continue being active, and then the Conservative Patrick Brown reached out to me. I said, like, oh, I notice you, I have been following you, and I want to have you in the team. So,
And
for me, it was like difficult to understand and to believe.
Two ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, when somebody called me, no, but provincially, federally is a big difference.
That's
like
right,
this is totally different profiles. But to be honest with you, like when somebody said like, Patrick Brown want you to join, I said, okay, like, as I said, like if Patrick Brown want me, he called me. So someday, like somebody's calling me, I'm Patrick Brown. It's like, really?
And I haven't met him, but I've always had the impression he doesn't like to hear no. When he wants something done, he's very persistent.
He's amazing. He had a different vision. I think he changed a lot of the, I would say, culture, taboos. So
Wonderful. And the recent election, you're in a second term right now.
third.
Third
Time. Yes, my apologies. Third one, tight race.
Very tight.
And as far as speaking, voter turnout, was this one that more people came out? How did you find this election versus previous ones?
I would say it's much different. I mean, the circumstance is different, of course. Running in February in -22 is different. Breaking your hand, slipping on ice while you're knocking doors is different. There's many different things in the circumstantial of it, but election is election. Campaign is campaign. The same thing. Again, like I have to say that there's many other factors affected my election. Maybe not my control or something I did, because I've been doing the same what I'm doing since day one. Like nothing changed. Actually, I'm going full force ahead. Like if yesterday was my first day in office, and everybody can attest to that. Like I keep no effort. I only sleep by 4 hours. I do all my efforts to be here and there and listen to everyone. Since day one till date, like no difference. The only difference this time was like international circumstances, like the conflict in the Middle East was a really big controversial thing. The
tariff situation in the U.S.
The ethnic tariff was our main slogan of the running.
Yeah.
We ran on an agenda or on a platform focused on how can we
Tackle.
we envision it's coming. Like at the time there was like the talk was very small. Like he was just mentioning, oh, things will change. But we envisioned immediately, Doug Ford envisioned immediately that we are going to be a target. And he said, we need to change the strategy. We need to focus on how we're going to deal with that situation. Because it's their situation. It's a very it's a difficult situation. And more Canadians start realizing that our ties with the U.S. is not, oh, we'll do a trade. It's actually they're our main customer. our main customer is the US. So if they change their mind in something or change the tariff, it's something going to affect lives of millions of Canadians. So,
Mr. Sabawy, it's been a pleasure. It's wonderful to hear the stories and the mini stories that come in and about it.
I have lots.
We'll come again.
Well, we're going to have next week, we're going to come back for one more week. We have so many questions. We're going to play a little game called Rapid Fire. We're going to, something a little unusual. Because I have at least like 5 sitting in my head right now. So we're going to come back next week. We're going to reintroduce you and we're going to do some rapid fire questions.
Absolutely.
All right. So we'll see you next week. But thanks for watching once again the Chosen Life podcast.